Okay, we're on. Hi, I'm Kristen McLaughlin.
And I'm Tammy McClafferty, and we are your co-hosts. Welcome to the Misfit Podcast, a show designed for Christian working women of all ages to bring their messy lives to the couch with a cup of coffee
and a margarita. Sorry, forgot that
to laugh and to learn together.
We'll talk about our personal lives. I can't read your writing.
That's all you.
Well, I have to read the whole thing. We'll talk about our personal lives while sharing lessons that have a biblical foundation. We'll bring in guests who are legends to us, and we will invite our listeners to a live recording where we can all laugh together. So
today's podcast is brought to you by Cup of Job Community Cafe. This is a redemptive enterprise that's serving and employing various demographics in need. That's been launched by LifeWork Leadership. It uses coffee as a tool to bring and build relationships in the community. You can stop by our beach or Murray Hill location and or book our coffee trailer for any event. Check us out at www.cupofjob.com or lifeworkleadershipfirstcoast.com. Seek, serve, seek Jesus.
That's my least favorite part.
One sip of text. Very long.
We have to practice that. Yeah, we have to practice
We have
that.
to get better.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
I know. Here we are. We're doing it. We did it.
How crazy is that? How are you feeling about the first 4 episodes?
So far I had some interesting feedback, huh? People said, how am I feeling? Good.
You like it still?
I do. It's fun.
Continue?
No, it's so much fun. I mean, I sort of thought about this. Andrew said to me, my son said, like, are you having fun? And I'm like, we have so much fun. Like, we just laugh. Like, we didn't even have margaritas really, like, until now. But we should say cheers. 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 No, but it's so fun.
It is. Sean asked me.
And we laugh.
The other day, the same thing. He said, are you having fun with it? Are you enjoying it? Because it does take a little bit of time. I mean, more time than we thought we have to put into it. And I told him the same thing. I said, I think when we're recording these are when I laugh the hardest.
Yeah. Throughout
the week. Like, the whole week is just crazy. And then we get to this and I'm like, oh, and then we start and it cracks me up. So
and one of my goals was laugh out loud, and I sort of count on this to be the laugh out loud part. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I can check that goal off this week. I'm a goal checker offer. Now what are you gonna do?
I can't bend down because of the shorts, so we're just gonna.
We should talk about the shorts.
Okay, so we are.
We're in the. I am not doing that with my leg on camera. Aren't my boots cool? Look at how cool our boots are. I'm not putting my leg up in the air. What?
You can do it.
You want me to put my leg up like that? God. Oh.
So honestly,
not for public viewing.
The boots are what started this. So having that conversation was the reality of
It is true.
As a 50 plus and older group of women.
Like, where are our limits?
What are we allowed to do? What are we not allowed to do? And the joke was that I just got boots, and so can you do shorts with boots? And we had a great conversation about it. So
I
for
think
our
you look
first
pretty good.
live, we did shorts with boots. We did a fashion show for each other to see which shorts worked the best. So if you look at my phone and her phone, we're in front of each other's mirror, sending pictures, and some of the shorts were like shorty shorts, and we were like, oh no.
No.
Right. And then we kind of did culottes. They were a little too long, and we were like, no.
We did definitely not have the look. We did not have. Even Rodney was like, no.
But we're doing it anyways. We're wearing the boots.
Yeah.
So,
and it all started because we were talking about Lydia.
Yes.
And we were talking about Lydia in the Bible, and like we're having this like very serious biblical conversation about how cool it is, these women in the Bible, and Tammy just blurts out, do you think they wear cowboy boots? Because I forgot to tell you, I got these cowboy boots, and I'm like, what? And so off we go, chasing the cow. That's how it started.
I think Lydia wore cowboy boots.
I'm thinking.
And desert sandals, but I'm sure there was.
Yes.
The next guest just arrived. Our first male guest. Is he allowed in?
He is.
Do we allow him?
Yeah, he can have a margarita. Our son is here. My son is here.
So fun. Welcome.
Nice haircut, sweetie. Henry's over there. So today I'm a mother, and I'm a grandmother, and I am a wife, and what else role did I play today? I was at work for a little bit, so I did that. Yeah. So it's all right here.
Yep, it's all of that together.
Anyway.
So we have been talking about Lydia. Our goal, if you've listened to any of these or if you know, the heartbeat really is to do one that we're kind of calling life, and it really is just a story of our life, what's happening in the moment, all the craziness. The next one, we're doing a lesson where we're really hoping to kind of do a little bit of a deeper dive on somebody. This happened to be Lydia. Then it was a legend, or we really want to bring somebody in and interview. So we interviewed Stacy last week. And then we want to do a live one where we bring our friends together just for a night. So you're our first live one. So
Yes.
we paid them all to be here.
Yes,
So
exactly. These are all people that had to be
I don't know
here.
if we'll have as many next time. We paid them to be here this time. But our heart was that we would just get to spend time together, and we really wanted you guys to be part of that. So tonight's our first live session, which we have 2 cameras going. We don't know how that's going to work and if we'll be able to splice it together, but we're hoping that we can do that. And so we are going to, at each of the live ones, kind of recap the lessons that we've been doing. And we've been talking about Lydia, which led us to hospitality. So this has been hospitality.
But I think we should first say thank you. And like everybody, like all of you are so special, I think, to all of us. And independently, like I don't know all of you, but it like we were talking today about how like Tammy said before, about how everybody's sort of woven into our lives, and we bring all our messes to almost all of you, right? Like it really is like I couldn't do what I do in all those different roles without Lily over there holding the baby, right? Like it's just like it's so amazing when I look back and I think we think about like how do we actually do this? And it's only because we have access and friends and we put community around us that allow us to say, hey, can we be messy together? And so I think for me and for you, I'm speaking for you.
Thank you.
But I think it's huge. Oh, we have another guest.
We have a customer.
No, that's Taryn.
Oh, is it?
So I think it's really important for me to say like that how grateful I am for everybody who's tolerated all of my mess and that you guys will laugh with us because most of it is very funny and I don't think would get through it if it wasn't so funny. So Taryn's here.
Yay, hi.
She's the mommy.
You have my baby.
Yes, she's the mommy. You can come in. Yeah.
So
anyway, so recap.
Yeah, so thank you very much. We appreciate y'all. All right, hospitality. We had Easter. We talked a little bit before about hospitality. It was funny. I went back with my husband and my kids and we were talking about it, and they all had different hospitality stories that they wanted me to share. They were like, oh, you should have shared this one, and you should have shared that one. And so it gave us an opportunity at home to even talk about some fun things.
Laugh about them, yeah.
So we had a good time talking about our hospitality.
Well, and I shared a hospitality last time that I was actually really proud of, and Andrew, our son, was part of it, and this week it became a fail. So, just the minute you start bragging about something and saying, I'm so proud of myself because look at what we did, and it turned into a fail this week. So, it's a mess.
At least you tried.
I tried. We tried. So, you're allowed to have both. And I think like you laugh about these things. I mean, our family laughs about our hospitality jokes.
Well, ours that I wanted to say, just they were wanting to recap was at Thanksgiving, we decided to take possibly our future son-in-law to Thanksgiving and meet the family. And so we were going to host him to meet the extended family and all the stuff. And we did. And before Thanksgiving was over, we shot him in the leg with a shotgun. Kid you not, no exaggeration, the boy was shot with a shotgun by my son over Thanksgiving. So welcome to the McClafferty family and meet the family. And we shot him in the leg with a shotgun, like scar on his leg.
Not on purpose.
Not on purpose.
It wasn't
definitely,
on purpose.
But we made him think it was on
Yeah.
purpose. Like, you really want to be part of this family. Like, you got to endure.
Take the test. This is the test.
But literally, like when we were talking about hospitality, the kids all went, and you didn't tell the we shot Camden story? And I was like, oh yeah, that's the epic fail. Welcome to our house. We shot you with a shotgun. So anything better than that, we tell people you are amazing. If you can bring somebody into your home and not shoot them with a shotgun.
The first thing, and here we are. Why don't you talk about why you can't find us?
Yes, so we're learning a lot, and this last episode, my daughter was here with us, so she recorded it and was kind of helping us splice it, and I kept saying, gosh, every time I search for us on YouTube, I find this.
I'm sort of okay with nobody being able to find us at the moment.
Skeleton.
Yeah, skulls
scary
and
group of people doing stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, that can't be good. We've got to be able to And she said, well, maybe it's just because they have more subscribers than you, and so you're not popping up. And I said, I get that we're not at the top yet with our 2 subscribers. Like, I get that. But, like, we should still be able to be found. Like, if you scroll,
Right. We're nowhere.
We're nowhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? She's like, Mom, I don't know. And we're looking through it. And finally she pulled it up and she's like, Mom, see this little thing that says, would you like to be private or public? You should put it on public. Oh, thank you.
So yeah, so we'd like to hear from you guys. Any stories. And like I said, we're talking about hospitality. So I will take a microphone. Oh, you're leaving us hanging, making us join the next podcast to hear.
Next time we have Stacy back.
Great. All right, who's
And
next?
mine's going. I'm Marcia.
Hi, Marcia.
Hi, Marcia. So I am hospitable by nature. Like everything since I was young, like the more people, the merrier in any situation. And so at some point when I was a young mom, we moved in with my in-laws. Along with moving in with my in-laws came my hospitable nature and my very conservative, wonderful, albeit not as hospitable in-laws. Mm-hmm. And so inevitably people moved in with us, that as we lived with them. That just happened. So young
Non-family, like you brought other people in.
When a young discipling young woman, she was a senior in high school, just graduated, moved out. So she moved in with us. Of course.
And your in-laws.
Just worked out. So, I'm not even sure I asked permission. I think it just happened. By the way, Devin's moving in. Like, it just happened. And so then when you become part of our family, you just become part of our family. You play games with us. You have dinner with us. You join us in all the things. That's just what we do. That's part of being hospitable, right? And so we're playing games with my in-laws, which is the love language of my in-laws. And we're playing a game with my father-in-law, who is your turn. Who's next? Keep going. Like, it's just, whose turn? Okay, you go. Like, we're just patting the table, like, we're moving along. And Devin's playing this game, and somebody made a move, which I think was my father-in-law, Doug. And she goes, wow, that was a real ballsy move. so, ballsy is still the word we use here and there. How's Doug? Feeling ballsy today? And the look she got from across the table. I mean, he still puts up with me, thankfully. But
That's great.
So
And those, I think those stories just stick, right?
mm-hmm.
Like our kids still laugh about things like that one of the girls' boyfriends used to say, and like, this is 10 years ago, and we're still talking about it, right? We're still laughing, like, Connor likes water,
right.
And I'm like, you guys stop it, But they have these jokes, so.
I think that's the memories.
Yeah.
That our kids remember. Like, we laughed. We talked about one of my stories was we had the exchange students, and we had one from Spain and one from France. And our girl from Spain was amazing, but our girl from France, not so amazing. And that's where porn was introduced as a Lafferty household. And so, it's the joke now that, like, every inappropriate thing on TV or anything that said, they're like,
yeah, it's okay.
Manuela would have liked that. And it's like, still, 15 years later, it's still part of the joke.
Yeah. That's how this is. I love that, right? I mean, it just makes the culture of your family. It's ballsy. That's great.
Not a word you say. All right, anyone else?
My name is Sandy.
Hi, Sandy.
I am Tammy's roommate from college. So that is how I know her. So I can. I got some stories that I will be glad to share later off camera. Yeah.
She came all the way from Pittsburgh for this, so I think you win the
I live in
award.
Pittsburgh right now, so thank you. My mother came with me, so I can't tell you. So I have two. I have a good one and then somewhat of a fail. I have a friend from college, Tara.
Okay.
Trumpet major.
Yep.
And every so often I will go back to her house and I put her on a pedestal of like she's a Southern belle, but moved north and still has those mannerisms. And when I go to stay at her house, I will have a nightstand with a water, it is like the Ritz-Carlton when you go into her house. She has a little frame of this is your Wi-Fi. This is where you'll need to go for the snacks. And it's all labeled. And so she's kind of like my benchmark of hospitality. Because I do not do that for my guests. Sans,
What did we not?
she was just up the other week, and I was like, "Yeah, here you go. There's your mattress. Come on, we're leaving." So that's a good hospitality. The epic fail was my other friend from home is a baker, an amazing baker, and I invited her over for dinner with her boys and my boys, same age, and I attempted to make tiramisu. So I got all the ingredients. I pride myself in being able to read directions.
We did get a good college education. We can read.
I can read. So I followed the directions, which is normally not what I do for meals. My husband says he's never had the same meal in our 20 years of marriage because in this occasion, I was like, I'm going to read them all. And I read it all and I put it all together and I presented it to her and it looked beautiful. And then she asked, "What'd you do about the whipped eggs?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" I said, "I put them in there." And she's like, "Yeah, but did you let it sit or, do whatever you're supposed to do with whipped eggs?" And I was like, "No." She said, "Did you double boil them?" I said, "No." She said, "Did you put lemon with them?" And I was like, "I didn't do any of those things."
I did what it said.
I read step by step and I went and got it out of the thing. And so I was like, "Well, give it back." And I put it in the oven.
Oh, no.
So I thought, I'll cook the eggs now. So I cooked them. And I brought it out 30 minutes later and it was, and all of you, I heard your horror. I heard it. So we now call it tiramisu. And that is my kids still to this day.
That's so good. That is great.
Must be a lot of fails with food.
Yeah.
So we had just gotten married. Like as you're saying it, I was like, oh, I have a story. We just got married, and Sean is Italian. Even though the last name's McClafferty, the family's very Italian, so they're big with their Italian food. And I'm clearly not Italian, evidently. And so I was going to try to impress the uncle who was coming to visit for the first time. So we just had our first apartment. I mean, we're 22, 23 years old. Got our first apartment, and I'm going to cook for his uncle, who's very Italian. And I was like, I'm going to impress him with my lasagna. Right? So I called my mom, and I was like, okay, how do you make lasagna? And she's walking me through it all. I mean, again, 22. And I was like, okay. And we had just gotten married, so the only pots and pans that I had were ones that were gifted at the wedding, the registry. And I said, okay, what pot do I use? What pan do I use? And she said, use the cake pan that you have. Like just the cake pan that you got for the wedding, use that pan and layer your lasagna. And I was like, great, that would be great. So I'm layering it. And in it, she said, cover it. I was like, okay. She told me to use the cake pan. She knew what the cake pan was. She was there when I got the cake pan. And she told me to cover it. Well, this was one of those cake pans that had the little plastic lids.
Oh, no.
Cute little pink plastic lid. And I was like,
you
well, I'll
didn't.
just cover it. So I put the pink plastic lid on, I clipped it on, and I shoved it in the oven. And I was like, this is great. And the uncle shows up, Uncle Bob shows up, and we're talking, and I'm trying to host as best I can. And then all of a sudden you start smelling burning and melting, and there's fire. And I jump up, and I'm like, Sean's not home from work yet, so it's just me and Uncle Bob, who I don't know super well, that I'm trying to impress. And I jump up, and I go to the kitchen, and I go to the oven, and I open it, and the pan is aflame. The melted plastic went in, and I'm like, freaking out. Oh my goodness! And he grabs the pot holders and he pulls the thing out, and I'm half crying, half laughing, all this stuff. And he's like, "Don't worry, honey, I got it." And so he takes my spatula and he scooped off about 2 layers of the lasagna and just threw it in the garbage. And then he's like, "It'll be great," and he popped it back in the oven. We ate like lasagna.
2 noodles worth of lasagna.
Sean came over.
That's great.
Food.
This is why I don't cook. This is why I don't cook. Nobody comes for my cooking because, margaritas I can do. Margaritas I can do. So.
Okay, we got it. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm Natalie.
Hi, Natalie.
Nice to meet you all. It's great to be here. So my grandfather, my mom's dad, was very hospitable, and he took care of my grandmother in many ways, but one of them was when her drink was low, she would shake her cup and he'd come running. And I didn't know this, didn't remember it until one night my parents were living with me and my husband, and my mom was being a little needy. And my dad told me the story about Jim, and my grandma made me shaking her glass. He's like, she just does that sometimes, Jim, and she'd shake her glass, and then he goes, my arms are too short, I can't get it. And so now that's a thing. My mom's passed away, but my husband and my dad and I will joke sometimes when someone's being a little too needy and needs too much hospitality. My arms are too short.
Funny. I wonder how many code words there are in families that we don't know, and we're visiting
Like when
somebody
we
and
go.
they're saying code
Right.
words that
Yeah.
we don't know. We're
They're like, oh, these people.
That's so funny.
Right.
I'm Linda, Tammy's mother-in-law,
Hi,
Sean's
Linda.
mom.
Hi, Linda.
And I have two stories about Tammy and family.
We're not inviting her to the next live one.
The first one
Yeah.
is Tammy, when she first came to our family for dinner, my mom and we had made gnocchi, which is like a little dough ball and sauce, and she really liked it, and so she wanted to have gnocchi, and that's how she pronounced it, and everyone just cracked up because we're going to say it differently. In Italian we say gnocchi, and so we always teased her about that. And that's my first story about Tammy. And for Sean and Tammy, when they moved to Willow Cove, is the second story. They were one of the first families who lived in Willow Cove over there in Nocti, and they moved in, and they love Halloween. The kids, they love ice and candy and all. And they went around their neighborhood and invited folks to come to their house for a dinner, like a buffet, before the kids went out trick-or-treating. And so she had all her good soups and everything lined up, on the table on the island there. So people came in with their kids and they all had a nice little dinner. And then the kids would go out trick-or-treating and bring their candy back to their house, and then they would trade. If you like Tootsie Rolls, I would give you my Tootsie Rolls. And if I like M&Ms, you would give me M&Ms. And so the kids would get their favorite candies, and it worked out wonderful. And that kept going for several years. The community grew and the families kept coming through, and it was wonderful. And one day, one of the couple of families in the neighborhood said, Tammy, Sean, this is wonderful what you've started here, but you can't keep doing this. Do you see how our neighborhood's growing? So they moved it to the courtyard in the city, Willow Cove's neighborhood, and they set up food in the neighborhood. And so they moved from their own particular house till everybody was, and then there were people who were coming from all over, even people who didn't live in Nocatee, and they all had so much fun, because then they would go to the different food booths that people set up, and the kids would get their candy, and it was a wonderful tradition that they started. It was so much fun.
See there? You are hospitable.
She is so hospitable.
Look at you.
My spectacular fetus is
So beautiful. She's not done. She's saying how beautiful you are and how beautiful. Yeah.
So, no, the gnocchi. I mean, literally, great grandma was there, and I had been practicing the noodles because this is like a
Right.
real Italian family, and I call everything spaghetti. So they quickly told me, like, they all had names, and so, kid you not,
Yeah.
there was a poster of noodles and names, and I had to learn like the difference between rigatoni and macaroni and all the things. So I was studying them, and the one that's gnocchi, I just thought it was gnocchi, and I didn't know what it meant. And so in front of his sweet grandma, I offered, because that's what
Because you-
Italians do. I was
right.
gonna serve him, like he was my future husband, and I was like, honey, can I get you some gnocchi? Literally, I didn't know what I said, and they're cracking up, and so Linda jumps in to try to save me because great grandma is
Right,
just
like
I'm
mortified,
bulging out of
right.
her head, and Dawn is just under the table, and sweet Linda tries to save it and make it better, and she's like, no, honey, not till August 26th.
That's great.
So now we eat gnocchi in our
Gnocchi,
household.
yeah. And Sean probably thinks there's not enough gnocchi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, there could be more gnocchi. Exactly. There could be more gnocchi. Yeah, we're like, yeah. There's a whole nother episode there too, probably, that will That'll be a closed door session. I think that'll be a. That's,
Good stories.
that's great.
Hello, I'm Suzanne.
Hi,
Suzanne
Suzanne.
Sinclair. Hello. Hi. Okay, so my story is actually a true story that I embellished and wrote about in my book that is coming out May 13th.
Okay.
And it's based in Nocatee, but I can't call it Nocatee
Sure.
because it's
Yeah,
trademarked.
sure.
So I named the town Peaceful River Valley.
Okay.
So the story is, well, all of my stories are based in family, faith, and freedom. So the family that I wrote about, they get together for Sunday supper every Sunday. And they're having dinner, and the main heroine, who is over 50, suffers from hot flashes, cold flashes, and sometimes both at the same time. She is running around trying to fix dinner, but she's very late. So her younger brother offers, well, let me help. I'll put the spaghetti on. And he goes and gets a tiny, like little itty bitty pan and puts spaghetti in it and puts it on the stove, puts the flame up high, and she comes out and she's now all dressed and she's got a nice bell sleeve on. And the next thing you know, the flames are singeing the pasta black. So she goes running over to try to get the pan. She bumps into it. The water tumbles out. The flame goes up. Her bell sleeve goes up. And she goes running over to the sink. And her other brother is yelling, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, and trying to put her out. So that is a little bit of a flaming story about hospitality.
So what did you have for dinner that night?
Yeah, they ordered pizza.
They ordered pizza. That's exactly. That's why we order pizza.
No. I think, it's worked out well for me, though, because my boys cook. We should have interviewed Taryn. She just left with the baby mama left, but my boys cook, which is awesome.
Do you think they cook because you didn't cook?
Because they had to eat.
I did not. My boys don't cook. I didn't cook, and they don't cook.
Oh, really?
They just
Maybe they're
starved
just,
or
mine
drove
are just
through
survivors.
drive-thrus.
Yeah.
Well, I just went through
No,
drive-thrus.
mine are like, Mom, you can't put ground beef in a pan that's not been heated. Yeah. No, it's like serious business.
Does Rodney cook?
No. Eggs. Scrambled eggs. Scrambled eggs he can make. And sometimes he'll say, it's a good day. We could have a grilled ham and cheese, couldn't we? And I'm like, we could. And he means we as in me should make him a grilled cheese.
ham and
Yeah.
cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Any other stories? I don't want to miss anybody.
All quiet.
All right, we'll get you on the next one. So,
Yeah.
So hospitality, kind of rounding it out, I think from deep diving and overall 2 minutes, into Lydia and her life, I think that's one of the key things we learned from her was just her willingness to open up her home.
Right.
And to serve others. And she did it. She clearly, like we talked about, had to be busy. She was working like crazy. She had a huge business. She had a lot of people around her. And she still just graciously opened up her home. And I think that's been one of the things that stuck out was just, it doesn't matter if I'm not too busy.
Right.
Like,
Right.
just serve. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like you said, the
Right.
chocolates don't have to be on the
Pillow.
pillows.
There you go.
Right. They're definitely
Yeah.
not. I'm just happy if I get a pillowcase.
Right. Clean sheets is nice. Yeah.
So I think that's been one of the big things I took away from all of this. And the second one was the fact that hospitality, in my mind, goes beyond just our home.
Right.
And I can be hospitable at work.
Yeah.
Like with my employees, with my staff, with the people around me, I can be more hospitable in the environment where we work, with them in life. I mean, I've watched, just as we've done this, my daughter got hired with a pretty big company out of Alabama, and they have treated her.
Yeah. So nice.
I mean, above and beyond. Like, hey, you worked really hard today. Take the business card and go get a mani pedi. Like, she went above and beyond. And then it was like, hey, you did this event for us, and
That's
we want
great.
to honor you.
Yeah.
Take a half day off. Like,
Right.
just, I mean, they have gone so far above and beyond in honoring her
Yeah.
and living that out even in the workplace. And I think that's been a huge check for me with work is just, I can take this hospitality
outside.
outside.
And I think that that's one of my faults. And I think the first time I said it was when we were recording, and I was like, my big fail is that I don't invite. And one of the reasons I don't invite, I think, is because I think it has to be out. I'm inside my house, and my house is just like never going to be right. And so I think it does. It's your heart. I've not really thought about it so much as my stance of my heart, and where's my heart on this. And if you have a hospitable heart, it doesn't matter. Like you don't have
or bad,
right.
you can
Exactly.
and
It
you're
doesn't matter where you are. So I think that was one of my big takeaways. And we're going to keep with Lydia.
We are going to keep it. Are we doing her the next cycle?
Yeah.
See, you're so good.
Oh, I'm the organizer. So we're going to start. We're skipping a week because this month has this month has 5 weeks and we don't have a 5th L. So we're skipping the 5th week. I feel like we could have like the 5th week in the month, and those weird months could be like
a break.
No, it could just be like we said it's 4 to 1, and there's a 5th week. It could be like the one time where we just bitch, right? I mean, we could have like a session. But anyway, we're starting.
We're leaning into
management of Lydia,
yes.
And so we're starting with our lives session about Lydia, and we're talking about work and management, and Lydia ran a household and a business, and then so our lesson will be sort of on that, and then we're are we giving away our legend?
We can give away our legend.
We have a special legend coming that Lydia was into purple cloth. That was her business, and so we have a special guest, Catherine Way, who's going to be our legend, and she made dresses and cloth. And then we'll have another laughter session after that. So,
all right. So our next live session, I was trying to pull up the calendar so we could know. Again,
it's May.
The next live session is May 27th. So we'll do Lydia in management, and then our next live session is May 22nd.
Yes,
so
with margaritas.
We look forward to laughing with you on May 22nd. Are we doing it here, or are we doing it at Running?
I don't know, but I think we should be clear on that. I think it should be here. Poor Barbara. Do you have a hospitality story you want to tell us?
Barb came in late because she went to Murrayville.
Barb, we love you.
We just talked about like hospitality.
Gosh, you have to have so many at Vickers.
Oh my gosh. On the spot. Thank you for coming all the way back here. I didn't know you were going to do that.
Oh, well.
Cheers to
We didn't know
you.
what else to do. Oh, gosh, hospitality.
We had a lot of
Barb's probably one of the most hospitable people
yes,
I know.
truly,
I mean,
truly.
seriously.
We had a lot of food fails in our hospitality stories.
A lot of food fails?
A lot of food fails.
I have more people fails than
Yeah,
you.
I bet you don't have food fails. I bet you don't have food fails. Like we did.
Oh.
She made like a lasagna that was like this.
I did. We had to cut off a couple layers. She didn't use
Yeah.
sugar in her peach cobbler.
Oh.
And she baked her tiramisu. So there.
Top that.
Oh, let's see. We made a whole, I worked with a baker and we made pumpkin pies one year with no sugar.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Sugar is clearly a
And
key ingredient that we're all
And we
missing.
didn't care. We gave them to him anyway. It looked good.
Take it or leave it.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, there was probably a lot more. I can't even think. But we had some food, some
Yeah.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I remember, just I'll add this last little bit. I invited, when I was a young mom, we needed to mom frequently invited me, and would invite these moms in, and one tell me one time, I so appreciate your house. It just makes me feel like I can just makes me feel much better about myself. And that was good.
Yeah.
Ladies,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to be
Don't be afraid.
because, you know,
Well, come to your house.
Right. We'll all feel better. That's so
That is
funny.
great.
That's so funny. Didn't know how to take that.
That is great. That is funny. Well, Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for making us laugh. It's and tolerating our goofiness.
And we will look forward to laughing with you on May 27th somewhere.
And we're not going to
Somewhere.
wear
And we will
shorts,
not have to
no
tolerate
shorts
our
or
shorts.
shorts. And
We should
you know
have-
they're called jorts.
Yes, they are called jorts.
I just didn't know if you knew
Ours
that.
are cooler than jorts, though.
Are they?
Like jorts are usually
Shorts and
like
jeans.
bad. Like
What makes ours cool? I'm just wondering what makes ours. Anyway.
I think only if you're male.
Anyway.
Fashion theme alongside. Like
We
this
could.
section was boots and shorts. We should have another fashion.
Can it be a nice one? We can wear Catherine Wade dresses.
Catherine Wade
We're gonna wear
dresses
Catherine
for
Wade
next
dresses
one.
for the whole time. Okay. Anyway, thank you for laughing with us. We are going to say, wait. 1, 2. We have to do this together.
1, 2, 3.
Mine's not working.
Well, yours will